I don't know, Moilax Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days Die. How much ammo have I got? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of ammo. Let's go clear an area and retrieve some supplies while I look for some more schematics and whatnot. Well, last night should have been Starfinder, but our fourth didn't show up again. So we played the other one that my homebrew game of D&D instead. Finally got that started. I wanted to start it with everybody, but you know, this is what, of the last 5 or 6 sessions, our fourth hasn't shown up for 3 of them. So I really thought it was going to go the other direction because I know he was busy this summer with stuff, but yeah, I didn't expect I expect it to work out like this. I mean, I know he coaches stuff, and that should be starting up here pretty quick too. So yeah, but yeah, so we got the other game going. Ooh, that's a crazy looking pond. I think it went pretty well. We'd already created all our characters, so it was just a matter of getting the story started. And so basically, we didn't make it to anything major necessarily. So it's an experimental game. Let's put it that way. I like to come up with ideas on ways to change the game. Now I don't dislike just a straight up D&D game. I love me some D&D. But I also like, you know, trying to come up with interesting ideas, different concepts. I know when we were playing, when I was trying to run a play-by-post game using Discord, we did a science fiction style game. But it was like post-apocalyptic, so people were using swords and guns and, you know, all sorts of things. So I don't think that was too different from regular D&D, just, you know, addition of some weird. Thought I heard a noise. Just an addition of some, you know, more modern technologies that I threw in, and you know, you just basically you make D&D has stats for guns, including sci-fi guns, in the game already, and so basically I just was looking at you know, magic items that were technically technology instead of magic. This is a long way out here. I didn't expect this to be so far away. This is like way over in another store's territory, man. So things like a rebreather, right? See, look at right there's a different store. It's like right behind this other store. But like a rebreather, and so it gives you uh, water breathing, right? Or dark vision, not dark vision, sorry, night vision goggles that basically give you dark vision. Um, uh, I can't remember what else I made for that game. I know I made some weapons, guns with scopes, and stuff like that. Um, I think like flippers would give you better movement in water, and so just stuff like that. Uh, and then I wanted to try a classless D&D. I really wanted that one to work, but it's too much data. I guess my plan turned into too much. It wouldn't be too much data if I, maybe had more throwaway time that I took to. Man, my guy just punching the heads off today. If I took the time to like macro things in our virtual tabletops that we use, um, but yeah, the couple of times we tried it, it was just too much. Also, I got a little irritated because one of the guys always wants to be silly, and it it wasn't the feeling I was going for in the game. I've really been into these isekai, which is where people from one world get sent to another, and so I set it up like one of those, and the one guy was just like, I'm gonna make a guy that's high all the time, so he just thinks that he's tripping, and so he doesn't think any of it's real, and so he's just gonna wander around being like, yeah, man, this is a cool trip. I'm just like, nah, fine. You've ruined my game now. I don't want to play it. Meanwhile, that guy's like, I got the coolest one shot for us to do. You guys just wait till you see the final boss, and then the final boss is um if you've ever seen Return to Oz, they piece together a creature out of like a bed and a moose head off the wall and rope it together and stuff like that, and then sprinkle some dust on it. So he had a dragon that was basically the same kind of thing. He was all excited about it, and he had all these, uh, like the wizard was all about scrapping things together to make things, and he just thought it was the funniest thing, and everybody else is like, yeah, where'd you come from? Oh, you fell from above. So sometimes I get irritated by the silliness he wants to do. Uh, I know last night the the one guy was like, he's trying to do the used to be an adventure, but he took an arrow to the knee thing, and because I described the mayor of the town we started in as being an elderly knight who was assigned as mayor by the king for this town. And so he's like, and so I'm like, he's a little older. He carries a cane. He's got a well trimmed white beard and keeps his hair cut short, kind of thing. And he's like, oh, did he take an arrow to the knee? Uh, and I'm like, no, he didn't take an arrow to the knee. And so then he's like, oh, but like, why does he walk with a cane then? Is it because he took an arrow to the knee? I'm like, no, he didn't take an arrow to the knee. And he's like, well, I just wanted to be that joke where it was like an adventure, but he took an arrow to the knee. I'm like, well, he didn't take an arrow to the knee, so I don't know what to tell you. So yeah. So, yeah, that one didn't work out though because there was just too much to keep track of. My idea was that instead of being experience based, I mean, I don't, I like the, whoa, this is bad. Okay, this is less bad. I like uh, I know you go up levels in Skyrim, but I like the skill ups from actually doing things. And so I wanted something like that. This door's locked. I don't see another door. Weird. So, instead of gaining experience, you would gain stat points based on what you actually did in the game. And, oh, how about we come over here? And so, uh, once you got enough, not stat points, but once you got enough points in a stat based skill, then that stat would go up, which would increase your skills, and you might go up a level in said skill. So like, uh, you swing a longsword, all right. So in D&D, a longsword is a strength-based attack, and so once you swing that sword, then you get a point to strength because it's a strength-based ability. But you also get a point in. Oh, nice. Point in. Oh, it's not. Oh, it is modded right here. A point in like I don't remember, like melee attacks or combat. Um, and so I did a lot of work. Did an insane amount of work setting that up. I don't really want any of that. I guess nope. I need 2 points for that to go up the next level. And I mean, I went through all the books. I went through all the skills, trying to get a list of like what skills are associated with what stat, and because they're not set up like that in D&D. And so, once you got enough points in, say, strength from swinging your sword, well, then that would give you access to the next level of strength-based abilities. And so, I don't remember how I had it set up for. I think every level you went up, you would be allowed to take an ability. And so, oh, dang it. Should have known you guys were going to pull that on me. And so, like, being able to swing twice in one one turn with your sword, which is a level 5 fighter ability. It's in other classes too, but and so then once you got to level 5 in your strength from swinging your sword, then you would have access to adding that ability to your character, regardless of what else you were doing. And so, it paved the way for you to build out your D&D character with the abilities that you like to use, rather than being stuck using just the abilities for the specific class, right? So if you wanted to do like a dex-based character, and which would also get you access to being able to swing your weapon twice, maybe. For dex-based weapons, then you might also, get enough levels to spend your level up points to purchase like backstab as well, right? And so I like that idea. But the problem is that the implementation was very, very clunky for me, because I would have to keep track of everything that was going on for all the characters, all the bad guys, and it was just too many numbers for me to keep track of. I had a spreadsheet, but I'd end up having to swap between multiple spreadsheets, trying to keep track of all the data. So we played that a little bit, but like I said, it was because I put out the stats based on what you did in game. I expected the players, which they understood where their points were coming from, but I expected them to be a little more interactive with the game instead of just following along, waiting for me to shove something in front of them, and so they very much didn't react in a way that I felt like characters would do. Like if you were yanked from Earth in the middle of your job during the day and suddenly found yourself in the middle of a city that was under siege by an army of monsters, and and it was cold, and it wasn't cold from where you were at, and then you're wearing a suit. We got a new schematic for diamond tools. Nice. Not something that's super helpful for me at this second, but and so then I'm like, this is what's going on around you, and this is what you see. What do you do? And they're like, I go up to the guard and see if they need help. I'm like, but would your character go up to see if they needed help fighting fighting monsters that you've never seen before? I feel like your characters would be more freaking out. And yeah, so it was weird. So like I said, we charge strike. So we didn't play that one too much. It was just too much on my end, and I didn't feel like they were taking it in the tone I had been hoping for, and so we dropped that. Oh, it's below me. Oh, dang it! I am. Can I just drop down here? And so, yeah. So this is a much more. Oh crap! Oh, oh, we'll just keep doing that then. This is the new game is a much more standard D&D kind of game. It's just a homebrewed story, and so much easier to run. We are running it in a different virtual tabletop than we run our other D&D games. I use Foundry, I think it's called, to run my Starfinder campaign. Because when I googled research where to play Starfinder online, that was the one everybody suggested. So we went with that, and the other DM, I don't know what I was going to try and say there, but he asked how well it played D&D, and I'm just like, how would I know? Because we only play together. Or no, let me rephrase that. I only play with you guys because they both have other campaigns they play in, and we've never used it for that, so I don't know what to tell you. And so, I thought we'd try it out with this game. There are things I like about both of the systems. They both work with D&D Beyond, which is awesome. Okay, let me rephrase that. The add-on that I use with D&D Beyond works with both setups, Foundry and Roll20. Roll20 is the other one we normally use. And so that's awesome. I like being able to use... I like being able to use my D&D Beyond character sheets when I play. And so... I might run in here real quick to check this guy's inventory while we're here. By real quick, I mean slow. And so, but the other one, and Roll20 has a bit easier of a time to put maps into, but Foundry has a way superior interface. So, so I definitely prefer. Man, this dude's selling like a whole mini bike in here. I definitely prefer Foundry's setup. I just wish one of the things that Roll20 does really well is the ability to add counters and notes and stuff right on your character sheet, which like D&D Beyond doesn't have, or Foundry doesn't have. Foundry's character sheets are a little clunky, for sure. But if I'm using the D&D Beyond ones, then it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, so our game last night, we got in there and we got started. I asked them, how long they've been in the town, and I told them that they all knew each other. Man,
Thank you,
really have a whole lot
Check back soon. I get new merchandise daily.
going on in there. So we started out in the middle of the day. They were eating lunch, It was basically the guard guy said he had the day off, and so I said that because I'm also playing a character with the group, as we do in our group. And so he said he had the day off, so I said I had the day off as well. Given that my guy's a dock worker, and so I just said there were no ships in port at the moment, so I was just waiting for the next ships to come in, and the other guy's a blacksmith. Because, yeah, so the big difference in this game is I thought it'd be really cool if we had multiple characters. And so I had each person give me a list of two non-adventure classes. And then I took those those non-adventure classes and I made characters for them. And then I assigned them classes that I thought best fit once they become adventurers, what they are. So they're actually pretty low skill-wise, but it's not that important in D&D, honestly, for the way you play, except when it comes to like your main weapons and stuff. And so I did bump them a couple of points. Everybody got like 5 extra points to their class, to their stats. They started at 10s all the way across, and then I gave everybody extra 5. I know that's way below. I don't think it's that far below, but it's a bit below standard deviation, they call it. And so, but those classes are supposed to be like the tricky ones to play. And then I had everybody make 4 actual adventure classes. So everybody's got 6 characters. You only play one at a time. They're all the same person. But they're different races and different backgrounds, and I think we haven't got to the point where they're swapping swapping characters yet, but before they do, I do want to try and come up with like 6 different worlds for them to... Not worlds, they all come from the same world, they come from 6 different timelines. Timelines? 6 different universes. This is like a multiversal thing. And so what I thought would be fun is you get experience for all 6 of your characters. I'm not going to have like a level 1 guy stuck with like the level 19 guys, you know, something like that. And because that's just no fun for the level 1 guy. And so, but you might swap out personalities, backgrounds. The world you come from would be different, and you look different, right? It's but you're the same person with the same knowledge, just the...
I'd shake your hand, but I'll bet you got dysentery the way you smell.
Thanks. I really hate this guy. Ooh, we have gone up a level, apparently. I'm gonna go with the farm bundle, which I don't have. Oh, I do have room for it. Alright, we could use a new job. Let's have a...
Well, come to think of it, well, good.
Let's have a clear the zombie job, which we will have to do probably the next day. We're getting pretty close to nighttime on Horde night, so... So anyways, they were sitting around, they heard a commotion coming from the west of town. Pretty small town, 850 people, give or take, and which I know isn't the tiniest town, but it's a pretty small town. And so they decided to either way it was going to happen, they were going to meet the people who had come into town causing the commotion, because where they were at was where the people were headed to. And they decided to get up and go check it out. And so they went to check it out. And as they got over there, they saw the mayor. That's when the dude tried to make all the arrow to the knee jokes that everybody just ignored him trying to make. And then, yeah, and then they were introduced to the bad guy that they don't know is the bad guy yet, to Vizslan. Um, and so I've got this character who's like 3 different campaigns now. I've been trying to get him into this to Vizslan. And I don't remember what his name was in the other campaigns. Like I said, this is not his first go. Where am I and where is my bed? Oh, it's way over there yet. And he is exiled from another world where his family is, and he is willing to sacrifice everything to get back to his family, including entire worlds. And so they don't know it yet, but he has already destroyed an entire nearby city, trying to find the magic that will let him break through the shielding that stops him from returning to his home slice of the multiverse. And so he shows up in this town because he's got a lot of magic items. He's all about the magic items, and the one of the magic items lets him know where powerful magic artifacts are, and so he is headed to a long forgotten dungeon underneath the. Strangely enough, it's underneath the tavern in this particular village, and so they accompanied him as he headed down into the Lich's tomb underneath the bar in town, which nobody was aware of, and so I sent him with a couple of high-end guards because I wanted to kill them off with traps in front of the other characters. I thought that would be fun, and so they did witness as one of the guards was electrocuted to death, and the other one got sprayed with acid. And so then they were super worried about opening doors after that. It was funny. And so then they've gone through most of the dungeons so far. It's all empty. It's so old. The Lich was defeated long ago. It's not something they're going to have to face. But the trick is that once they get to the end of this dungeon, or maybe it depends on which directions they go, right? There's only one place they can go to get to the end of this dungeon, but there's 3 different paths they could take, and each one, one of them doesn't have anything to do with the main direction. It's just a bunch of rooms, and so I don't know what they're gonna do once they get to the part where the dude tries to perform his ritual to tear a hole back to his universe, and the instead what it's going to do is it's going to shatter the multiverse around them, and so this will be the first time in the story, because it's going to be story based when it happens, but they will. Oh, nice! I do enjoy. Cool. I do enjoy some more farm plots. And so once they do get to that point, which will be whenever the next time we play it, then that'll be the first time we roll the dice to see which characters we flip to. And the bad guy's going to teleport away because it's not going to work. It's not going to do what he needs it to do. And so then he'll be gone, and then they'll be sent by the mayor off to the nearby city, which when they get close enough, they will see that it has been destroyed and replaced, I guess, with other places. So instead of being still part of its own multiversal slice that they're on, it'll be a city from a different multiversal slice that doesn't belong in this particular world. But so I think that should be fun. I like the idea of jumping between characters like that. I figure every time they reach a spot where the world has shifted and they pass through the line. So like if they go into the area near that town that's now a different place, then they'll roll the dice again. And then because of D&D has a lot of different types of creatures. I don't mean like monsters versus, humanoids. I mean like there's a whole slew of clockwork creatures. There's a whole slew of shadow realm creatures. There's a whole slew of fire-based creatures, water-based creatures. I can do fun things with that where they, face off against themed characters in themed areas. But yeah, so they got down the dungeon. They watched a couple of guys die in front of them from traps, and then they got really cautious about opening doors. And so it'll be interesting next time we get to play to see if they what they think of when they have to start jumping between. They might roll the same number and just stick with the guy they're already on too. I mean, that's a possibility because it's one of the 6 characters. But all right, with that, be better than the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.